those of you who may not know what love bombing is, it's essentially when you meet someone and they're just over the top from the beginning. They're just going hard and fast. And essentially at some point, it goes away. But now let's get into some of these types of guys that will typically love bomb you. Guy number one, Mr. Homeless and Broke. Alright, so these guys, due to their unfavorable financial position or the fact that they need a place to stay, those guys are trying to find a woman who is willing to accept them and allow them to essentially leech off for that woman. It's one thing if he just wants a woman to entertain him and spend some time with him. But there's literally men looking for a place they can lay their head, literally looking for a woman who can essentially sponsor their life. And because asking that requires more, well, this man's gonna come hard. He's gonna come hard, he's gonna come fast. No pun intended. All right, but he's really gonna do a number, okay? Because again, this man is operating from a place of desperate need. So it's important for you as a woman that when you meet a man and he's doing so much so fast, you do have to evaluate his situation. The easiest flag that's gonna show you this is the type of guy you're dealing with is the guy who quickly tries to talk about moving in together, quickly tries to talk about, or, is constantly staying at your house. Like, do you even know where he stays outside of when he's with you? Does he even have a address? Are you ever able to go to his house? If those things don't exist, then this is a huge red flag. Now, again, in fairness, I always say red flags are things to not just see and then you run. You address it, you talk about it, because I don't want you to just automatically assume, but it is something that needs to be investigated, and it is something that happens commonly with women. And so I just want you to be aware so that you don't get caught up in that. But anyways, moving on to the second type of guy who will love bomb you is Mr. Inexperienced. Here's one of those examples of men that can get caught up in quote unquote love bombing. So I say quote unquote love bombing, meaning their intention is not to manipulate and disappear. They're doing it because they don't know any better. A lot of men were raised to believe that when you found a woman that you really wanted, that you were really into, that you gotta go hard for her, that you gotta show her how much you want her. The whole, if a man wants you, he will stop at nothing to get you, and the man has to court you. All these types of ideologies have in some ways brainwashed a lot of men to think I have to do the most, especially if she is a woman who has many other suitors, viewed as highly desirable, whatever the case may be. So some of these men, again, are doing it thinking I need to do this to get you, not to then switch up on you. But let's talk about the fact that then why do they switch up? Because I know some of you are thinking, okay, fine, maybe he was being genuine, but then why did he stop? We have to understand that the unfortunate reality for a lot of individuals, and this happens again to men, is that when you get caught up in your emotions, it's very easy to lose sight of things, all right? So just as women overlook red flags, there are tons of men who have overlooked red flags, okay? And red flags also don't necessarily mean someone is bad, manipulative, or anything like that. It may simply mean red flag that y'all two are not a good fit, all right? And this is not going to work in the long run. But his high desire for you makes him want to just push past that and keep going. I cannot tell you how many DMs I have gotten from men who sound a little something like this. Man, I've been dealing with my girl, and she's really disrespectful to me, and we haven't been intimate in a long time, and she's been treating me all kinds of bad ways, but man, I want her so bad. Can you help me with getting her back? It's like, so wait a minute, bro. Like, you just told me all these horrible, negative things, all these unhealthy things, and before some of y'all jump to the conclusion that, oh, it's only bad or she's only behaving that way because of something that he did. No. I'm talking about this is what she was doing to this man from the jump. But he has become so infatuated with this woman that despite her unhealthy behavior, he still tries to be with her. When they do go so hard and they eventually switch up, it's because sometimes what happens is the man finally wakes up. The man finally comes out of his fog of infatuation, fog of desperation sometimes. He finally starts to realize this woman does not treat me the way I treat her. She doesn't pour into me the way I pour into her. Sometimes when the man does so much early and then stops being that great, amazing man, it's because you weren't reciprocating. And at some point, he can't keep taking that. He can't keep giving to you when you're not giving back. That's why I'm always on you, ladies, about making sure you don't have your walls up, that you are able to make a mutual effort in trying to build that relationship. That's why I tell men and women, do not chase after anybody. Nobody should be chasing anyone. Two people should be coming together, working together, pouring into each other if you want a successful and healthy relationship. So that's just some of the reasons why he may switch up. But it's not always about him just wanting to reel you in just to then spit you out once he has you. All right. Has that happened with some men? Yes. But that's not always the case. And you need to have a more well-rounded understanding of these situations. So again, the second guy on this list, he's inexperienced. He doesn't know better. That's why he goes so hard so fast. All right. So let's keep this moving. The third type of guy, and this is another one who is not coming in trying to be a manipulator. And that is Mr. Too Damn Insecure. So this kind of goes back to Mr. Inexperienced. And one thing I want to mention about Mr. Inexperienced that I forgot to say is that another reason why it's very easy for that guy to go so hard so fast, outside of what he's been told, as you know, when you really are into a woman, is because when you haven't been hurt, you are the freest with your love. You are the freest or most willing to pour in. Think about your first experience feeling like, maybe you weren't truly in love, but at least feeling like you're really into this person, this is who you want. Before you ever got hurt, before you ever experienced trauma, chances are that was your most giving time in your life. Chances are you were going harder than you've ever gone before. Chances are the only reasons we don't go super fast at that time is because other people are telling us to slow down. So it is very easy for someone who has not been through that pain yet to be so much more free and so fast in early stages of dating with you. So keep that in mind. But now Mr. Too Insecure, this is a level, and it kind of connects to the Mr. Inexperience of simply, if I don't do this, she won't love me. If I don't do this, I won't be able to get this girl. Maybe I don't believe I really have a true chance with her, but I'm going to try, and I'm just going to try the hardest I possibly can. Maybe I don't think I stack up to the other guys that want her attention, so I have to somehow outperform them. I have to beat them at this game. And because of this, I go hard. And so what's coming in my spirit right now is even the expression of I love you, even the wanting a relationship very quickly, because again, you have to understand that a lot of men are hearing from women that men aren't serious, men don't want to commit, all these things. So what happens in that man's brain is, well, if I want to show her I'm different, I need to bring up commitment as quickly as possible. I have to show her that I'm willing to dive into this and that I'm serious. How else do I do that? Saying things like, I love you. This is where a lot of men are misguided in how they proceed in these situations. And I think that the way to navigate this situation as a woman is to simply have a discussion with the man. Again, don't just see this behavior and assume, oh, he's love bombing you. He's up to no good. No, talk about it. Because if he is insecure, then what would cure the situation? Providing security. So essentially, if you talk to him and you say, hey, listen, I like you. And I want us to see if we can grow together. And now you're saying, I just want us to slow things down because I need us to take more time with this. Now that you've given them the piece of, okay, I know that she's here with me. We're on the same page. We want to work towards something. all right, I can take a deep breath. I don't have to try so hard anymore. And not try so hard in the sense of not putting forth an effort, but not being over the top, not doing things that may be perceived as love bombing. So it's just having a discussion. And that is another great way to decipher the love bomber from the guy who's just experiencing some other issues. Because the argument can be made that the love bomber does not want to take his foot off the gas no matter what. Even if you say to him, hey, listen, I like you too, let's slow things down. Because he has a mission here, again, whether it's getting his papers, whether it's he needs a place to stay, whether it's some of the things I'm going to mention, whether it's just simply wanting your validation. And then once he has it, okay, I'm done with her. I just want to conquer this woman. And now I'm good. I can move on to the next. That guy is not going to rest until he accomplishes his mission. So you having a talk with him will not slow him down. That will help you see where's he really at with this, all right? So be willing to have a discussion. But yes, a man being insecure can lead to him, quote unquote, love bombing. So now let's move on to the next one. This will be really quick. And that is Mr. doesn't have any other options. There are some men who right now feel like they don't really have good success with women, can't get other women. And so they start off love bombing because it kind of goes back to Mr. Insecure and Mr. Inexperienced and things of that nature, where he thinks he has to do this to get you. And then what happens is after he gets you, I've seen this in some scenarios where the man gains a confidence of like, oh, wait a minute, I could get her, so maybe I could get these other girls I've always wanted. A lot of you ladies date down, and you date down, and I'm not gonna get too deep into this, but you date down with the mentality of this joker has to appreciate me. He ain't never had a woman like me. So he's gonna be grateful. He's not going anywhere. He's not the most desirable man. I am safe here. But what you don't realize that you just did is you upgraded his resume. Other women see him with you and say, well, wait a minute, how did he get her? He must have money. He must be packing. Something's got to be right for this guy to have gotten her. Now she's curious, and now she starts showing him attention. So now this man, who was once not the most desirable, starts to get more attention from women he's never gotten attention from. And now his switching up, his withdrawing his effort from you is because now he realizes, I got more options. Wait a minute, I'm the hot guy on the block now. And so this is another scenario where it can happen where, again, he starts off going strong. Maybe you get with him, he stops, and then next thing you know, he thinks he's, the hottest thing since sliced bread, or whatever they say. and he's out there exploring his options. So that's another one that can happen, and you want to be mindful of. The last guy who will love bomb you, quote unquote, is the man who's truly in love. When someone feels a connection, not knowing how to handle themselves emotionally causes them to overdo things, causes them to move too fast. But it's coming from partially coming from a genuine place. So the big ingredient is true connection and love, right? But there is fear that's stepping in and causing to move very fast. There may be insecurity, because here's the thing, when you feel a connection, it pulls out your insecurities. It pulls out the fears. It makes you extremely vulnerable. And if you don't understand how to handle that, yes, you may come on too strong. You may be extremely reactive. There's so much that can happen, but it doesn't mean that at the end of the day, this is not a genuine situation. And this is why, again, we have to talk to each other. We have to, or you as the woman in this situation, have to ask yourself, but am I feeling a connection too? If you are, then let's work through this. Let's discuss this. And working through this doesn't mean we have to be together tomorrow, but it is being able to recognize it for what it is, talk about it, rather than writing this individual off as a love bomber or running from the situation because it feels too scary. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people who are talking about this topic are missing. And that's why I said it can lead people to missing out on something extremely special. And I don't want that to be you. So make sure, as always, you go within. You listen to your intuition. You pray. You let God guide you so that you make sure you go about things in the way that's truly best for you so you can receive the blessings that are truly there waiting for you. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there.